Welcome to episode 31 of Your Photography Mentor podcast. I'm David Molnar, and this is the one, the only Rich Coleman over here.
Dick Coleman in the house. I'm excited about being Dick when I'm older. My dad's a dick, and later in life I'll be a dick.
At what age does
I'm saying
Rich...
I think when I was a kid, like I've always wanted to be Dick. I just think it's a cool name. It's like kind of like 60s. Like how many dicks do you know?
Not a lot of them. It's usually an older man.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like at a certain age, I'll be able to old man it up, and I'm gonna put it on my license. It's just I'm ready. I think 50, maybe 45. Like what's a good age? Yeah, we're trying to figure out to poll the audience. Let's figure.
At what age can Rich change his name on good conscience from Richard to Dick? What do you guys think?
Well, I'm saying Richard's you got Rick, Ricky, Rich, Richie, Dick,
Right.
Dickie. It's like
Right.
I have so many option names.
Dickie could be a good one for you.
Yeah, it's my dad. My dad's Dickie. 80%
Okay.
Dick, 20%.
E.
He's Dickie.
Right.
You look him up on Facebook right now. Dickie Coleman. That's my father.
Okay.
He looks like a gray-haired version of myself. You know that old man app thing that we did like a year ago, I guess?
Gave all
Man,
the
I did it.
information to China.
Yeah, I look just like my father. It was nuts.
And
I mean,
everyone's
spitting
like,
image.
Molnar. Yeah.
Man, by the way, I just saw a picture your mom posted of her in high school,
Yeah.
and holy crap, does she look like your sister Esther?
She does, man. Yep. And you know who looks like them? Rosie, my daughter.
Yes, Rosie
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. And I'm like, I see Rosie and I'm like, it is little Esther, which I didn't know my mom in high school or in her high school. I knew my mom in my high school.
Yes,
But
unless you
yeah.
believe the terminology of Back to the Future Part 1, then you could have known your mom. And
How weird. Yeah. And do you mean known in the biblical sense or do you mean known as a...
no, that was no, that'd be weird. Hey, side note,
Yeah.
I went to the movies last week, and I think I said this even last podcast, but I saw the movie Tenet, and it blew my mind because Christopher Nolan just makes exceptionally entertaining movies. Is it the best movie in the world? No, but like Interstellar, Inception, Dunkirk, all great movies, and Tenet did not disappoint, except at the end of it, I was left like my brain physically hurt from the concept of trying to understand his brain and time travel.
People are saying that Rich is louder than David. I'll try to get closer to the mic. I don't know what.
Turn up your audio and turn mine down in the eCam settings. I'll talk quieter.
Yeah.
Just put me down to like 80%, so that way we're the same. You go to 100.
Now you're at 80%. So I don't know. I just got the mic closer, so hopefully that'll work. It'd be interesting this morning. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 31 of Your Photography Mentor podcast. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better at this point. So Rich, what are we doing today? What are we going to give away today? That's the bigger thing, you know?
You know what? I'm tired of every week you just springing this on me. You know what, David? I'm going to ask you, what are we giving away today?
How about we give
an
away...
autographed picture of your face.
How about we give away my favorite... We'll pick two people, okay? And we'll give
two
away
winners.
my favorite memory card holder.
Okay.
You know? And actually, I think I have it right here. Somewhere. Actually, I can't find it. Where is it?
I have mine because I'm prepared.
Which one do you have? Which is your favorite?
David, look what I just found in my camera case. Tip money from photo shoots. The only time David Molnar ever tips me is when he's trying to give me a bike for my birthday. That was 9 months ago.
By the way, did you find... Oh, yeah, that's the one that I love. Look at that. Is it Kira Photo? Kira Photo?
I think mine's Pelican.
Okay. Well, we'll give away two of these, which are awesome because you can like run them over with a car. And
mine's like the color of your shirt, bro.
Yeah, yours is better than mine, but you can put a bunch of SD cards in there. You know.
Oh, look,
mine's
SDCF. Mine hold both. Mine will hold a CF card too.
Well, I guess winner's choice, right? You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Awesome.
David, you need to turn my audio down just a little more. I love you.
Hmm. Kind of
You
strange. I
can.
could, I could switch. I could switch microphones too. Just go headset. You know, could do that. I'll just.
It's good.
I'm
It'll
just waiting for
mess.
you to be really loud.
Yeah. Yeah, but whatever. This is what it is. So should be
What
good now.
else?
Whatever. So we'll give away two of these memory cards. All you got to do is memory card holders, okay? And all you got to do is just share this Facebook Live recording. And today, what I'm excited about is, can you guys hear me better now, by the way? Can you hear me a little bit better now? I can hear well, says Kiana. Summers. Wow, that's a lot better, says Linda. Okay, great.
Yes. Now you can turn me back up, jerkface. Come on.
Jerk face is in term of endearment, by the way. Okay, so one second. Let me get. It's technology. Live streaming technology is always just lots of fun here. But Rich, how was your weekend? What's the big three?
Oh, big three. I shot a wedding and an elopement in 35-mile-an-hour winds. It was quite entertaining, and it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts how like much sand. Like I'm still getting like sand from behind my ears. If you are TPM
I
people,
saw it on your camera like lens, like it was like all like right here. I'm like, oh my
it's. I
god.
mean, I'm just saying it was just like blowing a gale. I mean, it was just there's 50 people. Like one wedding, it just started raining, and I was just like, it just was what it was, man.
Hmm.
But hey, I saw the tip. I got a good tip out of it. So
Dude, was that a $400 tip?
$400 tip, bro.
Dang, man. Well
Surprise and
done.
delight.
I think I got tipped a few times at weddings, and I was like, wow. Like, do you get tipped a lot at weddings?
It depends. Some planners, it's pretty normal. Like if I work with a certain planner, I know there's an envelope with my name on it, with $100 for me and $100 for my second shooter.
Hmm.
But usually at the end of the day, it's just like they're like, whoa, 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 before you leave. The best is when you get tipped by three people at the same wedding. I've been tipped by the groom, the bride's dad, and the groom's dad.
Really? How
That's
much?
awesome.
How much did you make?
The most I've ever been tipped, I actually got $1,000 tip once. It was awesome.
Wow, wow.
And a lot of times, if I'm
That's the
there
type of guy
with
you are, though. You're such an amazing service, and so like, it's such a team player that they're like, man, this guy like, you know,
I
helped us
usually just
pull
give it
this
to my
off.
second shooter, and because that makes them feel like like if I get tipped $100, instead of
Uh-huh.
like trying to break it, I'll be like, here you go, because I got paid.
Right.
It just makes your helper feel like $1,000,000.
If you get $1,000 tip, though, you're probably not giving all that to your second shooter, I'm
I
assuming.
just I just hope my second shooter doesn't see me get the tip. I'm like pulling a 20. I'm like pulling a 20 out of my wallet.
Like,
Hey, you
here,
got
you did a
tips. Here
great
you go.
job.
You did
You did it.
good. I mean, I don't hire people that are $1,000 good.
Right. That's awesome. All
We've
right.
shot we've
Well,
shot a fun we've shot a little fun wedding together. Remember that one we did at what's it called? Festival Park in Manio?
yes. That was Christy. Yes,
I
that
don't
was Christy's
remember.
wedding. Yep, that's fun. That's fun. And also Esther's wedding, my sister Esther's. We got to shoot that. You and
Sure.
Josh Wood, and Josh was shooting the wedding, and you graciously came and were helping, and I got to take some photos too. It was pretty fun. Esther's anniversary was 2 days ago, by the way. Hey,
Yeah.
question for you. Is today the first day of fall? Usually, like the fall first day of fall is the 21st, but sometimes it's like the 20th or 22nd. So I don't actually know. I didn't actually look it up. Can someone let us know in the comments if it is or is not the first day of fall? Because if it is is that what's called the equinox? No. The equinox is the solstice, right? The winter or summer solstice, I believe. I get it. I get it wrong.
All I
Whatever.
know is I'm wearing a sweater because I went to the gym at 5 this morning and I was like, oh my gosh, and I came back and got a sweater.
Nicole is saying tomorrow is the first day of fall. Nicole Graves. So I'm gonna hold that. Tomorrow is in my 20th anniversary. Says Charlie Timothy Briggs. Well, welcome. I mean, welcome. Congrats, Charlie Timothy Briggs, on your 20th anniversary. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, so they're saying tomorrow is the first day. It's weird how it's like certain days, and it's not even or is it a leap year? Was leap year this year? February 29th? Was it? I think it was this year.
I missed it. COVID, world
Yeah.
ending.
Well, it wasn't really COVID on February 29th, you know. Okay. Well, hey, today, here's what we wanted to do today. We wanted to do um, an Ask Me Anything, kind of an AMA session. And by the way, if you guys are just tuning in right now, we're giving away 2 of these of our favorite memory card holders to 2 of you guys, memory card holders, and we're gonna randomly choose a couple of you guys who share this Facebook Live video, and then today we're gonna be answering any questions that you guys have. Okay, so if you guys have a question,
Any
when I say
question?
any question,
No, you said it
we're gonna
now.
pick a
The
few
cat's
questions
out of
and
the
answer
bag.
them. So if you guys have some questions, I'm glad I'm not Amy Elizabeth. She says it's freezing this morning in Pennsylvania. If you guys have some questions that you'd like to ask me or Rich, then we would like to kind of talk about it a little bit today. So what's up, Rich?
I think I'm ready to do a poll.
Yeah?
I think I figured it out over here on my other left monitor. So
All
you
right,
just let me know.
Tell us about it. You launch it. What's going on?
So we want to know how many photo mentorship students we have on compared to not on. So I'm about to post right now, and praise Jesus. Hopefully it works. You let me know. And it just says, "Are you a photo mentorship student? Yes or no?"
Yeah, and so to be clear, Photo Mentorship Students is one of our monthly members of the Photo Mentorship, where you get to stream unlimited access to all of our courses and get all your questions answered by experts like me or Rich or other experts that are on staff, and then also watch our other live events, because we have this week alone we have 3 other live events. So if you guys, we just launched this poll? Is it up?
It says we have one person that answered no, so I'm thinking it's working.
Okay, cool. So let us know if you guys can y'all take this poll that I believe just popped up. Let us
Dude,
know.
they're answering like crazy. This is awesome. This is great.
I love
just
it.
figured it out.
Yeah, that's cool.
33 to 10.
Okay, 33 people are
44 to 11. Yep.
What's 44?
49 people are, 12 people are not.
Students. Remember, photo TPM
Correct.
students. Okay, cool. So
I'm going to make a bunch of polls. I think this is great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I'm going to play a video real quick that's showing you guys what the photo mentorship is while you guys are answering this. And if you have any questions, ask, kind of type them in the comments for us. All right. Alrighty, cool. Video has played. People are answering the poll. How are we doing? How many people have said yes? So we have 133 people on live at this moment, as far as I can see. And how many people are TPM students? TPM stands for the Photo Mentorship, which is our amazing membership community, which you just saw a preview of in that video. If you are watching this live, how many of you guys on live right now are TPM students?
We have 67 yeses and 20 no's. So 77% yes.
77% yes. Okay. Becky McCubbin says, if you're on your phone, hold it in landscape mode for the poll questions to show. Okay. Sweet.
This is brand new to us. This is brand new to the Facebook Creator Studio experience for us.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched some 65-year-old lady teach me how to use it on YouTube.
That's awesome.
It was awesome, and she did great too. Like, I loved her, Irma. All
right, so this is a great question. If you guys have some questions. I want y'all to ask them in the comments here. All right. And then here's a funny thing. I didn't really talk about what I did this weekend, but my son, I got a Band-Aid on here. My 2-year-old daughter, Juliet, was like, "You got Bobo?" She's like, "I'll kiss it." I'm like, "Yeah, here you go." My son, I was helping him get a fish off the hook. Like we have a little pond next to our, like kind of down the street from our house, and he was like fishing, and he got a fish like this big, and I was like, "Okay," and he's like, "I'm trying to take it out," and then he dropped the line was like this much, and he drops the fishing pole right as I'm taking the hook out, and then it dropped 4 feet off the fence down to the thing and like jerked my hand like all the way down with the hook in it. I'm like, ah. So the
Was it
weight of the
Christian or
fish,
Judah?
it was Judah, and I'm like, you can't drop the pole. He was like, oh, let me help, and just drops the. And I'm like, God. So, anyways, it's one of those things where it's like it's 3 days old. I think it happened Friday night or Saturday morning, and it's one of those aggravating things. Is right here, like on the tip of my pointer finger, and it just kind of like it doesn't. It's like not healing. I keep on like re-aggravating because my right hand, and it's like, you know, if I'm putting hair product in, if I'm grabbing something. So I'm like trying to twist the mouse because this is like your pointer finger that you do on the mouse right here,
Oh,
and
and
it doesn't do
it
anything.
can't get your
It's like
skin. Yeah,
it's
use
like
your middle
not
finger.
yeah, it's like my middle finger. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, ask them in the comments, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. All right.
I have one quick story. It's about a G string. The worst I've ever been hurt in my life, I think, is I was playing my guitar, electric guitar, and the G string broke.
Okay,
And it
that
went
type of G string.
that G string, and it went straight into my ring finger like that
Ooh.
much. A
Oh.
guitar string, just the way it like still thinking about it.
I mean,
hurts.
did it like slice that much, or did it like
No,
the
no,
actual tip of it?
it went like straight in,
Oh.
like I'm imagining your
Like
fish
it was
hook
a
did.
needle or a
And it went in, and I
vaccine.
couldn't believe it. And then when I pulled it out, it was the most excruciating pain.
Hmm.
I mean, I was there for 2 childbirths, but I'm gonna compare it to that type of pain. I mean, I never personally gave birth, but I watched it twice. But
I pretty much caught all 4 of our kids in our bathtub. So I've watched twice as many births as you. Just saying.
Well, no. I said my wife. I said I watched my wife's birth twice.
Okay.
That's not all the births I've watched.
Just
I accidentally I made it to Ramon's birth almost. Ramon's newest baby on accident. He was like, Rachel hasn't eaten in 3 days. Bring her food. And I leave and I go bring her food, and like I bring it to her, and like they're pushing, and I'm like, whoa, I thought you wanted food after the baby came out, not right now.
Right. All right.
Anyway, back to photography questions.
Mackenzie Durst said, how did you find your photography niche? What made you choose portraits over landscapes or etc.? So, Rich, you want to answer that question, or you want me to take a stab at it?
I had a professor in college, Professor Isaacson, and I took a beautiful picture of the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is like a 45-minute drive from Liberty University where I went. And he's like, that's a beautiful picture. Do you know what would make that sell? And I was excited. He was like, put a picture of a bride. Put a bride in that frame, or put a family in that frame, and then your pictures will be worth something. And it was kind of like heart-wrenching to hear that, because I was like, I'll never shoot weddings or families. But he was right. People, well, like the ugliest family in the world, the Molnars, they'll pay to have their picture taken. But that tree no, they'll just make me do it. Well, you pay my salary, so joke's on you. But people will pay for pictures. Like you'll pay for a picture of your grandkid if it's a great picture, Right. But somebody that wants a picture of a tree, that tree ain't giving you nothing.
I don't think that tree has ever paid a dime of money. They pay a lot.
Art is a very niche. That's a very niche in and of itself as far as niching. Like landscape, for me, would be maybe I could be a full-time landscape photographer.
Landscape is one of those things where it's really tricky. There definitely are people that make a full-time living at it, but they definitely have to find that niche, and they have to find the right way to sell those landscapes. Like there's a guy I'd actually love to bring him on. He's a good buddy of mine, a surfer buddy. His name is Jonah Allen. I need to we should have him on the podcast. I'll see maybe if he's available in the next couple of weeks. But but he sells fine art landscapes. A lot of it are drone shots or just pictures of beautiful water. If you guys have seen any photos, if you follow me on Instagram, or Rich, he takes some beautiful drone shots as well. But if you've seen the water around where I live, it's just absolutely stunning. It's one of the things that enticed us to move to the Panhandle of Florida. But Jonah lives here, and he takes these stunning like landscape images of water, and whether it's a drone shot or whether it's like these just beautiful wave shots, and he sells them as fine art and prints them in a really like amazing archival way. And he has pictures of like them in these multi-million-dollar houses and stuff like that. So you can be a landscape photographer. I never really went down that road. I never committed to it, enough to like really do it. But it's one of those things where being a landscape photographer and actually making a full-time living at it is probably harder, I would think, than being a portrait photographer, because
Amen.
you really have to have a niche, and you have to find a niche market to sell your prints in. So, I mean, you could potentially, if you're a landscape photographer, for instance, you could potentially be a stock photographer. You could take beautiful landscapes and be a stock photographer, or you could, get on with some sort of, social media thing where, they needed fine art images. Like, there's all sorts of ways to make money from landscape images. It's just one of those things where it's like, there's a lot of there's more starving, well, I don't know about that, but there's more starving landscape artists than other things. Because like Rich said so beautifully, the landscapes, the trees, they don't actually pay for the work. People pay for the work, So if you can find a demographic of people that are willing to pay for what you're creating, that's a niche. That's a market that you can try to sell in. Like my friend Jonah, he sells to these high-end homeowners, $1,000, $2,000, $4,000 a print that's framed in this beautiful, archival, amazing way, and it's this beautiful, beautiful print. But a lot of people are just trying to like, I'm just going to create an online store really quick, and on whether it's Etsy or whether it's using Pixie Set or something like that, and just hope enough people come to my website and then buy a $10 print. Like, you're probably just not going to make a living that way unless you have a massive following and really have like an amazing niche to it.
My
So
professor
portrait,
my professor also said that what you just said is like having a beautiful billboard in the desert. So like you have this beautiful thing that nobody really cares about, nobody really drives by, because your internet traffic is low and there's so much other stuff out there. It's like having a huge, awesome billboard in the middle of the desert.
right? That's great. I like that. So
It's
there
kind
are
of like
ways.
an SEO like metaphor.
SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's basically trying to optimize your website to get people to come to it through search results. So, yeah, I mean, if you have beautiful pictures, and you have a beautiful website and a beautiful place for people to buy prints, but no one comes to it, you're not going to make any money on those prints. Not if that's your avenue to sell them. So why do we choose portraits over landscapes? For me at the time, I felt like I couldn't be a landscape photographer and sell prints and make a living off of it. I actually wanted to be a surfing photographer, and then I realized like the industry was kind of getting a little bit oversaturated, and surf magazines were paying less and less for images. And so it'd be cool to bring some surf photographers on, and even just talk to them, like try to talk to them about how they actually make a living these days. But
Chris Burkhardt. I'm in.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm saying we talk.
See if he'll join us. That'd be awesome. So, so as far as how do we decide the niche for portrait photography? For me, it evolved over the years, but I realized that people would pay you money and not landscapes. Like the trees never pay. The people pay. And so initially, I started shooting weddings because that was the place where I could make the most money, and I had people asking me if I would shoot their weddings. And so I realized, okay, I can make a good chunk of money shooting my friends' weddings who are they're getting engaged right now. And then I worked my way up to where I was able to pivot from weddings, which was fun, and it provided an income for us and all these different things. And we got to travel the world. It was amazing. But what I really wanted to do was shoot advertising and shoot album covers and stuff like that. So, while I was building up my portfolio for advertising, for album covers, for, commercial work, I was, shooting weddings and some family portrait sessions and stuff like that. So it's really kind of about the opportunities that are in front of you and what pays you money. So there's a book called Business Brilliant that was brilliant. Lewis Schiff, I think was the author's name, and he talked about this thing. He said, do what you love, but always, always, always follow the money. And it's not in a sellout way. He was saying like, there's this misconception that like do what you love and the money will follow, and that's not necessarily true. Okay, because if you only shoot bats uh, that you shot with a paintball, I mean, I don't know, maybe that would be a cool. I'm not sure. And then you just do it, and it's a really cool creative expression, but no one wants to buy the prints or hire you to shoot their pet bats. I don't know. Like you just you may not make a living. The money may not follow. So that's kind of a misconception that Lewis Schiff kind of turns on its head. He says, do what you love. So shoot those bats with paintballs and then with the camera. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Don't do that.
I'm calling PETA.
Shoot the landscapes. Okay, do what you love. Okay, shoot the street photography. Do what you love. He's like, but then follow the money. Use your skills and then shoot some portrait sessions and make some money, so that you don't have to go get a job and you can continue to do the things that you love, which is maybe shoot landscapes or shoot street photography or shoot action sports or whatever it is that maybe you're not making as much money or making little or no money in, but do what you love and then follow the money as well. And that's, for me, it was like, okay, I loved taking pictures. I loved taking landscapes. I wanted to take album covers, but the obvious way to make money to support my family and to pay our mortgage and to put bread on the table was to shoot weddings at the time. And that was like kind of, it wasn't my first choice. I got to shoot my first choice later once I built my portfolio, but it took a little while to build up to that. So it was a long way to do it. Hey, Linda Kane Nielsen asked this question. All right. Hi, Linda. She's one of our amazing TPM students. She said, if you have a total of 50 or so images that you are delivering to someone after a small shoot, and you've already taken 10 or so into PS, Photoshop, for fine editing, etc., do you do it to all 50 images, or do you do it to only, let's say, your top 10? Okay, great question. All right, here's my answer. By the way, if you have any questions, ask them in the comments. We'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can. Okay. And by the way, if you become a member of the Photo Mentorship, which you can check out at thephotomentorship.com, okay,
.com.
then you can get your questions answered all the time by us, okay? Because we have 3 more live trainings this week where we'll be, teaching you guys. We have a photography boot camp. We have, is it Tech Talk with Rich on Thursday?
The most favorite show of all, TPM, yes.
Tech Talk with Rich on Thursday, and then Edit with Emily is on Friday. So we have 3 more live shows this week. So we answer questions on those, and then you can always get your questions answered, privately or publicly inside the Photo Mentorship. So check out thephotomentorship.com. If you're not a student yet, you're silly. Go be a student, because
lots of new stuff coming for these students too, man.
That's right. We just had a pet photography course that's in the process of releasing. The first installment of that released on Friday.
David sat there and rubbed my hair, and they took pictures of it.
Just pet photography. Mm-hmm.
That's why petting course. That's weird.
Okay, so Linda asked. She said, if I have 50 images that I'm delivering to a client, I've already edited 10 photos in Photoshop. Do I edit the other 40 pictures in Photoshop? Here's what I do. And I don't know what your editing style is, Linda. Like I can't say, but I'll tell you what I do. And I think Rich would probably say he does something similar. I personally do not bring any images into Photoshop until my clients have chose them to be their choice images. So I do all of the processing in Lightroom. I bring them into Lightroom. I choose them or cull them, narrow them down in Lightroom, and then I pick. If I have, let's say, 500 photos, okay, I'm going to narrow, or let's say 450, because these are round numbers. If I shoot 450 photos of a portrait session, which sounds about right, if it's a quick session, something like that. If I shoot 450 photos, I will immediately narrow them down to 150 keepers Okay, so there's 300 that I'm just going to remove from the equation, and my clients are never going to see those 300 photos that are or really they're like delete photos. Okay, they may be just as like close to good, but not as good. So I'm going to keep 150 of them. I'm going to take 450, narrow it down to 1/3 of those images, and only keep 150 of them. So in Linda's situation, she's saying she's delivering 50 to the client, and so I'll say it this way. So out of those 150 that I'm keeping, I've narrowed down 450 to 150. Okay. Out of those 150, I will have also narrowed the 150 down to another third, which would be 50 images of what are my A shots or my choice shots. Okay. The ones that are my favorites. Okay. So I typically call them choice. Okay. And so the remaining 100 photos, we went from 450, we essentially deleting or removing 300. I don't delete them yet. I just put them in a folder called delete and remove them out of Lightroom. So we've narrowed 450 down to 150, okay? And then I've narrowed the 150 keepers down to 50 choice shots, my favorite ones. And there's 100 other B shots or extra shots as well. So then once I've narrowed down to 50 shots, I then start editing those photos in Lightroom. And I use my presets. We have amazing presets in the photo mentorship to where you can edit your photos in one click using recipes that Rich has made, that I've made, and several, we have how many presets in there? 85, 90 presets, packs in there.
Whoa. There's 75 that are out, man. We can't talk about all of our secrets.
Well, we just have like
coming.
10 more that we're in the process of releasing. So and each of those packs have like 10 variations in them, okay? So whether it's the wedding photography presets or the natural light portrait presets or the outdoor presets or Rich's favorite portrait presets or Crystal's storytelling presets, whatever they are, we have presets for you to edit your photos in one click. So what I do, those 50 images, is I edit those photos with presets and then tweak them. And then I edit in Lightroom pretty efficiently, pretty quickly. And I teach all this in my Lightroom 101 course, by the way, which everyone who has access to the photo mentorship gets access to the Lightroom 101 course, the 201 course, and the other 25 courses that are currently inside the photo mentorship. That's just included in your membership. You can stream all of our courses, okay? So in the Lightroom 101 course, I teach exactly what I'm talking about, but practically over my shoulder. You see my screen share and all that stuff. So we edit those photos really efficiently to 50, and then I can synchronize those 50 photos and edit the other 100 photos in one click, because I take the 50 as templates and synchronize the edits to the other 100. So now I have 150 photos that are edited. Okay, you tracking with me? I went 450, deleted 300 down to 150, and then I picked 50 of those as my favorite photos that I'm going to tell the client, these are the choice photos that I love, that I recommend. And then we've just real quickly synchronized the other remaining 100 images that are extra photos. And then I send my clients 2 folders, the choice folder and the extra folder. The choice folder has 50 photos in it. The extra folder has 100 photos in this scenario, okay? And then I say to my clients, pick your favorite images, your favorite 10 images, for example. That's typically what I do. And I will retouch those 10 images. When I say retouch, take a further look, remove some zits, make them look more well-rested. I'm not trying to make them look fake. I'm just trying to make them look like they would on their best day, okay? When they, don't have that zit and when they got a good night's sleep, like what they would really look like. That's what I'm typically doing. And so I only bring in the images that my clients have chose into Photoshop, and then I go deeper into editing those images.
Be firm on the only picking 10. Don't let somebody abuse you and say, can you retouch all 50? The answer is no.
The answer to Linda's question is, should I bring I have 50 photos I'm delivering to my clients. Should I bring the other 40 images into Photoshop, even though I've already edited 10? I'm like, no, and I don't
open Photoshop unless you have to.
That's kind of my perspective on it. I know some people would just prefer to like run an action in Photoshop or do an overlay or something. And I get that. Like if that's your thing, fine. But should you go in and individually retouch each of the images? No. You tell them, these are 90% of the way there, but they're not retouched. They're not individually retouched. Choose your favorites and I will retouch them for you and then deliver a folder called retouched. So my clients,
I don't even do that.
My clients in the end, my commercial clients specifically, they get 3 folders, okay? Initially, they get a choice folder with only my favorites in it. and they're only edited in Lightroom. And then they get an extra folder with the extra photos that I wanted to keep, but weren't the ones I recommended. Okay. And then once they've chosen their favorite 10 between those two folders, then I retouch them and I deliver a third folder later, 48 hours, a week later, however long it takes, and say, here's those 10 retouched images. Please give photo credit to davidmolnar.com. That's how I do it. So hopefully that answers your question. Is there a question that you want to answer, Richard?
No. I mean, my I don't even do that. I put them in the choice. I give them choice and extra if I feel like being nice and they're great clients, and I give them extra. And then I wait till they order prints. I'm not going to retouch something that's not going to be on a wall. I wait till I see like, oh, they ordered this in a canvas. Let me retouch that before it goes to the lab.
Mm-hmm.
So if I self-fulfill my own lab orders, I
If
wait
you
to hard proof.
If you self-fulfill, that makes sense. Yeah.
Soft proof is where it's at, y'all. Lightroom soft proofing. Don't work too hard. The more time you spend working on an image is the less you're worth an hour.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. Love it. Love it.
Get it right in camera.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Stephanie was saying, I'm a TPM student and love it. Fantastic. So Steve Slayman is saying, what kind of insurance is required for county and city permits to shoot certain county and city sites? You do need photography insurance as a photography business. Okay, you need business insurance. And typically what they want, and this could change depending on the location, but typically what they want is $1 million liability policy. Okay. Talk to your insurance agent. We even have, some insurance that we can recommend, but it's $1 million liability policy, and then usually that policy, the business insurance, will typically include like your equipment insurance up to $20,000 worth of equipment, and it'll have $1 million liability policy. So if someone dies or gets a broken arm or something like that on your photo shoot at their location, your business policy would cover that. And so most companies can provide that for you as well. And so we actually are talking with some companies to find out exactly like who we would feel the most comfortable with recommending. We don't have that for you yet. But typically you need that. Some locations may require a $2 million liability policy, but I think 1 million is usually what's covered under there.
But be careful. Like, places I shoot, farms in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, will say, can you please attach me as that your photo insurance is covered in this 100-year-old barn. Like, so you'd be surprised the places that make you prove insurance, and it's worth it. If somebody trips on one of your stands or your camera bag, it's better to be protected.
Yep. All right. I'm sorry. So Heather Meckling Eccles asked the question, what would your go-to lens be for landscape shots? What's your go-to lens, Richard? Dickie?
Go-to lens for landscapes? Man, I tell you what, I'm going to answer that from experience. When I went to Iceland a few years ago, I shot my 24 so much. It was kind of like my go-to lens, and I would just put a ND filter on it and call it a day. I shot that way more than I thought I was going to. But I also shot the 100 a lot. Like I like the compression of. I didn't want it to be what my eye saw on purpose, because what my eyes saw was a touch stale or boring. So I was like, okay, if I shoot that at 200, that mountain looks really cool now because of the compression that my focal distance is giving it. So I'm constantly thinking through my arsenal of lenses as I'm at any shoot.
So typically, Heather, when you think of landscapes, a lot of times you think of a wide angle, a lot of times. But
that's why I said that.
What's that?
I said 24 first. That's wide. Yeah,
for sure. And so I have a 16 to 35 millimeter Canon L series lens that's kind of broken. Like I really need to I've hardly been using it.
Bro, you need the new version. The new version of that thing is sick.
But I might get the RF version, huh?
Yeah, if you can never get the camera.
I know.
I'll get my
Backwards.
16 to 35 because I actually have it.
Yeah, I have it in a bag in the closet over there because it's kind of broken. So the 16 to 35 is, I forget, it was maybe 15, $1,600 lens. How much was it when you bought it?
Yeah, probably like that. 13 to 1,500 bucks.
Yeah, and it's a specialty lens. So if you shoot portraits with it, it's really going to distort people. But it can be cool if someone's like right in the center, and then it can be a cool thing. We just probably don't want to have people too close to the lens if you're shooting at 16 because it's going to be real
Agreed.
distorting. And no one wants to look wider in an image. Like what my wife and I, whenever someone's taking an iPhone photo of us, we like always try to get in the center of the picture because people on the edges are stretched. But she's like, I don't want to look fat. So I'm like, yeah, I get it. So
All 90 pounds of Tammy.
I know, yeah. So the 16 to 35 used to be my go-to lens, but since it's not been working lately, like I haven't bothered to replace it. I use my 24 a lot as well, the 24 to 70. And then, that's a great one because it goes pretty wide. But like Rich
Yeah,
is talking
16 to
about,
30,
sometimes you
16
want
to
to,
35 is good. It's run and gun. Like you can shoot at 16 at because it's 2.8 all the way through. At 35, it looks pretty good.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
shot this a lot too.
Hey, Alyssa Higgins asked the question, have you ever used a mag sphere diffuser? I haven't. Have you?
A magmod. She might be meeting. A magmod makes a diffuser, and magmod's the best. If you're gonna get a diffuser, I borrowed a friend of mine's for a year, and I'm just too cheap to buy one. But magmod is great. That's where Trevor Daly. You know Trevor? Do you know
Yeah.
Trevor? He
Yes.
works for Magmod now.
Okay.
So it's a great company. You put these magnets on your speed light, and they clip on, and then your diffuser just pops on and off like really easily. It's like the best system. I have the Gary Fong currently. 90% of the time, I just point it up at the ceiling
Yeah.
because it works when you do
Yeah, that's what I
that. I
typically
mean,
do. I typically point it up to the ceiling and just have this white card. By the way, we have a course that all of our members of the photo mentorship can take for free or included in their membership called
Speedlight 101. And we just wrapped filming last Thursday on Speedlight 201, where we teach you how to take that flash off of your camera and set up 1, 2, or 12 lights. I actually learned a lot filming that course, David.
Yeah.
These Yanyo flashes have a built-in receiver. So when you put the cheap $30 transmitter on your camera, the flash will automatically receive the signal, like built-in technology. It blows me away. On
So
a
good.
$60 flash, it's like, what? Canon needs
Yeah.
I quit Canon. I kissed Canon goodbye with their speed lights. Like, what a waste of money.
So funny.
And Nikon's even
Um,
worse, man. Nikon flashes are so expensive. It's like, gosh, just buy a Godox or a Yunya. Like, just or sell your Nikon flash and buy 12 speed lights.
there you go. There you go. Hey, Katrina asked this question. Katrina Mobley said, I was trying to take a picture with sun flare burst through the trees and it could not get a good one. Any tips on how to get the sun flare bursts? So, a couple things. Sun flare and the star burst kind of can be two different things. I mean, they are the same, but the way that they look and they feel are two different things. Or I could say infinite variations technically. So here's the deal. Sun flare is kind of like a blob of light, kind of like bleeding out. That's kind of the way I think about it. Okay.
Like a
And the
yellow
sun,
haze.
yeah, kind of like a yellow haze, and it can be really, real pleasant, real awesome. I do love it. I love shooting at a very shallow depth of field and having like that sun flare kind of like real soft and beautiful in the background when there's a nice shallow depth of field, beautiful bokeh in the background. By the way, we have an article called on it's /aperture. So davidmolnar.com/aperture, and you can learn a lot about this. And so here's the little hint. If you shoot, let me get my original camera out here. Okay. Mind if I take over the screen for a second, Richard?
I
If you
guess.
shoot, if you shoot at a large aperture hole, like the size is large, okay? That's a large size. That's at a 1.8 on this lens. And this is at f/22, I believe. Yeah, f/22 on this lens. Okay. If you shoot at a large aperture size, it's going to create a couple things. It's going to create a shallow depth of field, which is going to be a blurry background. Like right now, you can see everything is super sharp and crisp in the background. Okay. Um, And then also it's also going to create more of that sun flare, kind of like that soft hazy look in the background when you're shooting when the sun is hitting, is in the background. Okay, so with sun flare you have to have the light, so it would need to be in your frame. Like otherwise there won't be the flare. You might see a rim light on your subject, so a light kind of hitting the back of their head, maybe coming around their face a little teeny bit. But you won't necessarily see the flare unless the sun is actually in the frame here. Okay, so if it's up here, like if this is the sun and it's up here, yes, I got pit stains. Sorry guys, not pit stains, but wet pits. So if the sun is up here, you may not. If it creeps in a little teeny bit, you might get a little sun flare, a lot of sun flare, no sun flare. Do you know what I mean? Like, so the sun has to actually be creeping in your frame or be completely in your frame in order to get that soft sun flare. Okay, so the large aperture size creates the sun flare that's soft. If you want to see that star burst with a, like a small sun with like the streaks, the burst, like very defined, then you need to have a small aperture hole. Okay?
Or a high number.
Yes, it's a high number. But this creates a soft sun flare. This creates a sharp and defined sun flare. The star burst. Okay, the star burst is with a small hole, which in aperture is a large number. We talked about this in the Master Camera course. I talk about it on davidmolnar.com/aperture, the best blog post in the entire world for that. We'll go ahead and see if we can post a link there. Aperture. See if I can spell this right.
So to answer your question, I think the way her wording was is she wants to see the star, and to answer her question very clearly, you need to shoot at a higher aperture, higher number. So the hole needs to be smaller, i.e. try like f11. I have a 100mm lens right here in my hand that I like, and I like it because when I can shoot at f32, David.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy? And that gives your sun like a star, like. At f32, that is a multi-pointed, crazy star shape.
Right. Yeah, you want to probably shoot at f11, f16, something like that, to be able to have that star burst in there.
Mm-hmm.
So to be clear, if you want that star burst, you shoot at a small number like f16, f11, and if you want it to be like that hazy sun flare look that's soft, you shoot at a large
glowy
hole, which is actually a small number. Okay, you can learn all about this on davidmolnar.com/aperture.
Aperture.
Hopefully I posted this link correctly. I'll put it here. Aperture article. Here we go. Okay. All right. So we're going to answer maybe one more question. Sorry, I know there's a bunch.
Make it a good one. Make it a good one.
All right. I'm going to let you answer this question. Belinda Medor said, any tips for fall outside photo shoots? I'm planning mine for next week. What do you think, Rich?
Control the situation and environment. With fall shoots and a lot of mini shoots, you're dealing with kids. So you want to be able to put them somewhere where it looks good and you're not thinking as much. So the more muscle memory you get from things like the photo mentorship and knowing how to master your camera, great. But also control the environment. If you put them backlit to where you don't have to worry about sun splotches on the face, or you already have your scene set up and all they're doing is sitting.
Formula number 2 and 3.
The more you control the situation, the happier you'll be with the outcome because you're no longer fighting the situation. So get to the location early, see which way the wind's blowing, see which way the sun's going, and then think about what you want the end product to look like so that way your client shows up and you get the result that you have in your head. So,
and if you can,
always scout.
Ahead.
Plan ahead and scout, man. When I have to go to New Jersey in 3 weeks, David, because my wedding this Saturday had to move because of COVID. And I'm getting there a day early just so I can scout the wedding location out the day before. Like somebody go there at the same time of day, the day before, just to kind of look around and be like, okay, I'm going to do family pictures over there by that tree. And then I'm going to take the couple over here by this lake. And I know before I show up to the shoot exactly what I'm going to do and what the light is going to look like.
The only problem is is weather. Like
Mm, mm.
weather is obviously can be a big deterrent because like there'll be times where you're like, man, the light is going to be perfect. I can do formula number 3 from the course. Anyone, you guys know which formula, what I'm talking about, which course I'm talking about when I say formula number 3? Um, you can plan the lighting out, but if it's cloudy the next day, then all of a sudden your lighting is way different. Like if I was planning on like the sun, it's it's going to be golden hour. The sun is going to set at 6, so we're going to shoot here at 5 o'clock. It's going to be an hour before sunset, and the sun is going to be this beautiful backlit thing hitting our clients. But then it's a cloudy day, and then standing in that same location is now all of a sudden kind of dark and dingy. You know,
Yeah.
so I would make sure that you have a reflector. And if you can have an assistant or a friend or a spouse or something come
Mm.
along, having a reflector can be huge. Obviously, if it's raining, that's like a whole other issue. But,
Use the
if
reflector as an umbrella.
so, there's a course, I just want to say this. There's a course that we have called Shoot Stunning Natural Light Portraits. Okay. That's available to everyone who is a photo mentorship student. Okay. So, and that course, Shoot Stunning Natural Light Portraits, teaches you 3 specific lighting formulas that you can use in any situation to find beautiful natural light to achieve professional quality portraits using only natural light. Okay. And it's like Rich is doing, he's like looking to see where the light is actually hitting it. See, look right here, I don't know if you can see, but there's like no light on this side. But if I go like this, look at this window light that's coming in. It's good light on my face, good catch light, all these different
Catch
things.
light. If you don't have catch light in the eyes, start over. Try again.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like if it's a cloudy day, that's gonna be a big issue is catch light. Seeing those, see the light in my eyes right there? You can see it like right there. I'm like flicking you guys off. I don't
Whoa,
mean to be.
whoa, David,
Whoa.
easy.
Yeah. Well, it's this, see the catch light up there, the twinkle in my eye. That's what you want to make sure you have in your portraits. Otherwise, people's eyes
Look dead.
don't look alive. They look dead. It looks like raccoon eyes if the light's coming too top heavy and coming straight down. It'll create heavy shadows. And if you can't see the eyes, it's not a pro quality portrait, in my opinion. Not for traditional portraiture, right? You want to see the catch light. And so if it's a cloudy day and you have a reflector and you can get, let me see if I have, well, it's too far over there in the closet. But if you can use like a silver or a gold, silver works really good on a cloudy day, then it'll pop a little bit of light back in. White can work as well. But if you have a reflector, then it can add a little bit more light into the equation and fill in those dead spots in the eyes and give that twinkle back. So if there's one tip for fall portraits, for fall family portraits, it's if you're a photo mentorship member, go watch the Shoot Stunning Natural Light Portraits course. It's a quick, easy course, and I teach you 3 lighting formulas, okay, to shoot professional quality light in any situation, okay? Formula number 1, formula number 2, and formula number 3 are pretty different from each other, but you can utilize one of those formulas, especially if you have a reflector, to get pro quality portraits. If you're not a photo mentorship student, go sign up for the photo mentorship and go take that course, all right? So
Yeah.
I think it's time to do the giveaway, unless you had something else you wanted
Let's
to say.
do it. Well, yeah, no, there's some questions coming in too. Like you have David, I don't even know if you know this, but we are almost finished with photo release, model release, photo contracty stuff that people are going to be able to get with credits. And we are like dangerously close to getting that ready. So TPM
Nice.
people, be excited about all these things coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Including date night with Rich, an actual date night. I will be pimping myself out. Only 4 credits. It's not a lot. That's as much as David said I was worth. I was like, hey, what do you think? Like 40 credits? And then and he's like, nah, 4. And I was like, okay, gosh. Yikes. All right, we have a winner. I still have that poll up, so I don't have the winner up. So hopefully you can announce it.
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
Winners. There's 2 winners, right?
Oh, there's supposed to be 2 winners. Yeah, hopefully we got 2 winners.
I have faith in Crystal because she's beautiful and perfect.
We do. She always shields us from from having to worry about picking everything. You know what I mean?
I know it's a pun, but I don't see the name. Somebody Shields.
Gotcha. Way to be a Debbie Downer.
Debbie Shields.
Okay. Close. So what we're doing right now,
guessing.
for those of you guys who shared, $20, Rich. $20 for sending out. What we're going to do is we're going to give away our favorite memory card holders to you guys. Well, the cool thing is you can drop them, you can run over them, and they're going to keep your cards safe. Pretty awesome. I think these are waterproof too, right? Is yours waterproof?
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
After my good buddy photographer had his in his pocket on a cruise ship, he like lost a bunch of cards. That's when I switched to waterproof.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's good, and it's decently slim. It's a little bit bulky. Like I have a thinner one, but like it's a little bit
I have
thinner.
the
But I
same
don't really
thing.
use.
Think
I don't
tank.
really
I have
use
a
it.
think tank
It
one of
came
those.
with
I
your think
stopped
tank
using.
bag.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna give away two of them, and the first winner is Kathy Shields. Remember I said I'll shield you. Crystal shields us.
Ah,
Kathy, you have won one of
Kathy
these. Thanks for
Shields.
sharing this Facebook Live. You're awesome, Kathy Shields. Thank y'all for tuning in. And the next winner is, I don't know if I can pun that one. Debbie Blackman. Debbie Blackman, you are the winner of a
Hey, your
memory
case
card
is
holder.
black, man.
It's true. It is. It's Blackman. I love it. All right. Hey, did you guys like this this AMA session version of the Your Photography Mentor podcast? Let us know in the comments.
AUA.
I know we didn't AUA. Ask us
Ask
anything.
us.
AUA. Ask us anything. There you go. Yeah.
AUA.
Awesome.
AUA.
Hopefully you guys like that. I know we didn't get to answer all your questions, but if you're a photo mentorship student, you do get all your questions answered inside the photo mentorship. So that's kind of a huge added perk. So if you want questions, if you have questions about an upcoming shoot and you want to know the settings, or if you want some feedback on a specific image, what you could do better, or if you want specific training, then we will answer all your questions inside the photo mentorship. So we love you guys. Have a fantastic day. Go check out thephotomentorship.com if you are not a member. And
join.
Yeah.
Just do it.
And I will see photo mentorship members on Wednesday at the Photography 101 boot camp. I'm excited about that. I'm a big fan of this week's teaching.
Don't be blurry about that. Nothing blurry about that pun.
That's right. That's right. It'll be nice, sharp, and crisp. You know what I mean? Or maybe
It should be really cool. It should be really cool.
Wah, wah, wah. I'll be using a fan as a prop in this week's photography boot camp. Photography 101.
I want you to wear an open button shirt just so the fan could be like Michael Jackson.
Flowing backwards. I'm a fan of that idea. It's awesome. All right. Well, we love you guys. Have a fantastic day. We will see you soon.
At the movies. I love you.